everybody? Welcome back to the Resleevables Tournament Edition. More importantly, the 1996 World Championships Edition. And we have quite the story for you related to this tournament. But first, I'm Cedric Phillips at Cedric A. Phillips on Twitter. He's Patrick Sullivan at Basic Mountain on Twitter. And Patrick, we had some fun playing with the decks from this event.
These were kind of the first decks that trickled down to me as an LGS player.
Oh,
not exactly these lists necessarily, but the sense of these are the skeletons of the best deck. This is kind of what the standard metagame looks like.
Okay.
This was the first for me.
This stuff was all new to me. This was before my time and then some. I wasn't an LGS player. I wasn't an anything player, I think, at this stage of my life. I may have been a Mega Man X player on Super Nintendo, but yeah, that's really about it. So to see these decks in action, to see Necropotence at work, a little more Armageddon, which you and I have had the pleasure of playing with in this series a little bit, and then everyone knows my love for small white creatures and Armageddon, so to see that deck do well in this tournament, a nice surprise.
A lot of very powerful white cards in general at this time.
Yeah.
And with Necropotence having such a spotlight on it, obviously one of the most powerful Magic cards of all time.
Yep.
In a tournament setting, being able to play a sea of protection from black creatures and Armageddon, which was very good against Necropotence as well. But the deck was both justifiable on its own, just as a collection of powerful cards.
Yep.
But the fact that it matched up very well against Necropotence specifically is what really put it over the top.
So we are going to start today's tournament edition of the Resleevables, as we always do, with the facts of the 1996 Magic the Gathering World Championship. All right, everybody, it is time to bring you the facts of the 1996 Magic the Gathering World Championship. But before we do, we're going to bring you the facts of our wonderful sponsor, Tales of Adventure. You can head over to toamagic.com and check out a selection of over 77,000 SKUs in stock, including 80 pieces of the Power 9, every single revised dual land, and singles of all shapes and sizes in every format that Magic has to offer. Every order placed with Tales of Adventure comes with free tracked shipping. UPS next day and 2-day shipping is offered for orders placed before 8 a.m. And Tales of Adventure has completed over 1 million orders lifetime, so you know you'll be in good hands with Michael Caffrey and his staff. If you'll be attending an event that Tales of Adventure will be at, when you're checking out, you can select the event pickup option, so you can simply pick up the cards you've ordered right at the event that you'll be at. You can find a list of events that Tales of Adventure will be attending right on their homepage, toamagic.com. Lastly, when checking out, be sure to use promo code RESLEEVABLES to get 5% off your entire order. Tales of Adventure Eternal lives here. Alrighty, let's dive in. Let's learn more about this, the third Magic the Gathering World Championship, starting things off with where it was and when it was held. August 14th through the 18th, 1996, at the Wizards of the Coast headquarters in Seattle, Washington, is where this tournament was held. It was also the first World Championship after the birth of the Pro Tour, and it was the event that concluded this particular Pro Tour season. So the 1994 World Championship and the 1995 World Championship were kind of just some standalone events. Wasn't built under the structure of pro points and all this other jazz. This is the first one. It also helped crown and acknowledge who was the winner of the Pro Player of the Year, too.
Very cool tournament. I never got to play in World Championships as a competitive player. And most of the time that I was playing, the World Championship was pretty close to just another Pro Tour that was on the schedule. It was a little bit different because you had the team element, and so players from countries that typically didn't have a lot of Pro Tour players would sometimes have a presence there. But otherwise, basically just a Pro Tour. And I really regret not getting the opportunity to play in one of them because just playing in the World Championships, it sounds different when you explain it to your friends and family compared to a Pro Tour. It's just a different vibe. Yeah. And I wish I had gotten the opportunity at some point to play one of those.
I got to play in one.
Yeah.
In Rome. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool.
And it's also 3 days and different formats, and there's the team tournament going on.
Yep.
It was a very cool tournament in the, early aughts when I was playing on the Pro Tour more frequently. And I really wanted to play in one before I retired, or I guess was forced into retirement.
Sure.
But it didn't go that way.
The 1996 World Championship, well, it wasn't the biggest tournament Magic's ever seen. 125 players, so that's not very many. And it featured 3 different formats, as Patrick kind of alluded to. Booster Draft, Standard, and Type 1.5. So if you were playing in this thing, knowing 3 formats, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and I do appreciate that they were trying to give Type 1.5 a little bit of a shine.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Magic was trying to find a way to thread the needle between, well, we do want to have a rotating format. Yep. We can't just keep all the cards legal until the end of time for a variety of reasons. But we also don't want to signal to people that their cards just kind of are useless after the fact, after the standard rotation. And Vintage is a tough place to show that feature off because, well, the cost of cards already at this time was very high.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, the Moxes were $100 to $125. A Lotus was $300. I know nowadays they're significantly more expensive than that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was, my feeling was, well, I'll never have a vintage deck that's a fully equipped vintage deck. So Type 1.5 is much in the same way that Pioneer and Modern kind of view this of, no, it's not full rotation in all formats, but you also don't need to keep all of your cards until the end of the time.
Sure.
There's kind of a sweet spot in the middle here where your cards preserve some of their competitive usefulness without you needing to keep every single card ever printed to play Magic competitively.
Which, that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the prize pool and what these 125 players were playing for. The 1996 World Championship prize pool was a slight increase to the Pro Tour Columbus prize pool. Of course, if you were with us for that episode, you'll know these numbers. But if you weren't, you should go check that episode out because that's what I'm going to compare it to. Pro Tour Columbus's prize pool was under $25,000. First place got $22,000 and 30 pro points. Second place got $12,800 and 25 pro points. Third and fourth got $7,500 and 20 pro points. Fifth through eighth got $4,400 and 10 pro points. Ninth through 16th got $2,600. 17th through 32nd got $1,500, and 33rd through 64th got $400. A nice little prize pool in Columbus. However, the 1996 World Championship prize pool was $130,000, so you'll see some small bumps here. First place, $26,000 and 30 pro points. Second place, $16,000 and 25 pro points. Third and fourth, $9,000 and 20 pro points. Fifth through eighth, $5,500 and 10 pro points. Ninth through 16th, $3,200. 17th through 32nd, $1,850, and 33rd through 64th. The only one that stays the same, still at that $400. But again, the thing that's worth noting here, just like we noticed in the last episode of the Resleevables Tournament Edition, these prize pools are moving on up. They're putting money into this thing.
Yep, more money. Although these payouts are kind of weird. I'm a big fan. I've had to build. You have N dollars build the prize payout.
Yep. And
round numbers are just easier and better for advertising and all that kind of stuff. So 26,000 instead of 25,000, 5,500 instead of $6,000 or $5,000, and then do whatever you want to do with the leftovers.
Sure.
Numbers are a little bit weird, but still the message is the same. There's more money being put into this, more legitimacy, and this is a good place to be investing your time and energy and money.
But not only were they giving away a healthy chunk of money here, first place in this tournament got something super cool. The 1996 World Championship card was awarded at this tournament. All other copies of it, plus the printing plates, were destroyed. That means that only one of these things exists, and rumor has it that the winner of this event, who we'll be getting to here shortly, still has the 1996 World Championship card locked in a screw-down case and will never part with it. I did a little digging on a website I hate in Reddit, and I did find some fake auctions of this card that quickly got taken down with like a $200,000 bid and stuff like that. Suffice to say, given that there's only one of these, It would be pretty expensive for how much it would be sold. I know we talked about on the back end of one of our episodes of Unsleeved on, is this the most expensive Magic card of all time? Potentially. You don't think it is? I think I agree with you, but it's still really cool nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked a tournament player or a historian, what would be the coolest single card to own?
Yeah.
This would come up as an answer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it has, it's sort of niche lore enough that I don't think it has kind of the broad appeal that the most expensive cards of all time typically have. But I think this would still be very expensive if it went up for auction.
I will say this too. I wonder how many people actually know this card exists. You know, nowadays, they did the one of one ring. And then, of course, there are various Black Lotuses and Mox and all this other stuff. And what is it? Summer Hurricane? Is that the
Blue Hurricane?
Yeah, Blue Hurricane.
I mean, that's not even the most expensive Summer Magic card,
Okay.
but it's still, you know, thousands of dollars or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an iconic card, right?
Yeah.
So there are some cards that just stand out in Magic's history as like, oh, have you ever seen this or heard of this type of thing? Obviously, Magic is growing very, very fast, and there are people who are very new to the game who may have heard of some of these iconic cards.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people have heard of this card before we actually mentioned it on this show.
I mean, I think even among tournament players, it's not widely known lore.
Yeah.
Just the amount of marketing, the amount of documentation and publicity for events. Compare this to the One Ring One of One, which gets this huge advertising push from Wizards of the Coast, and then it makes its way down to all these websites, and it gets to the point where, you know, I've met, I don't know a better word for it, civilians.
Okay.
And when I've told them, you know, I'm involved in Magic the Gathering or whatever, they're like, oh, do you know about Post Malone paying $2 million for the card? It's got that kind of push behind it. That's nothing like that existed for this. It's just not even close.
So who has this this wonderful card that we speak of here? Good question. We're going to talk about the top 8 players now. I kind of slow rolled this on you on purpose. Patrick knows who it is. First place in the winner of this tournament from Australia is Tom. And Tom, I'm going to do my best here. We believe it's Chanpheng. The H is silent, we believe. Tom is the winner of the 1996 World Championships and therefore the winner of the 1996 World Championship card. Fun story, though. Tom won the event with White Weenie. We know that. We love that. And we'll get to the deck list in the next segment of the show. We made a little bit of a boo-boo. He misregistered his deck by forgetting the Adakar Waste that he wanted to play. To splash the copies of Sleight of Mind that were in his deck list, one main and one sideboard. DCI rules forced him to fill out his empty slots with the basic planes, and so the Sleight of Minds could never be cast at any point in his tournament, and he still won.
Well, I would argue this made his deck better. Because
other people make said arguments.
Because instead of having a bunch of Adakar Wastes in your, you know, cheap white creature deck, so you're taking damage all the time, you have planes. And instead of incorrectly leaving Sleight of Mind in your deck, or God forbid, bringing in the additional copies,
that's right,
you just instant cut it post board and then you're in the clear. So
for those of you who ever misregistered a deck at a tournament and say, I can't believe this happened to me, someone did it and won a world championship.
I once played an SEG Invitational with an 8-card sideboard. I don't know if I ever told you about this.
No.
It was bad for me. So I register 4 copies of Deathmark.
Okay.
Just on site. None of the deal. Yeah.
Single black, kill a white or green creature.
Yeah. None of the dealers have them. So I'm just down to 11 cards.
Okay.
And then I had 4 Bloodline Keepers in my sideboard.
Okay.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, so that's 2BB, 3/3 vampire, tap, make a 2/2. When you control, I think it's 5 or more.
Yeah, you got
vampires transform. It's unbeatable, unlimited.
So I'm going to sideboard them in, and I realize I can see the back of my sleeves.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just not boarding these in for the tournament. Could have gotten a checklist card of different sleeves. I was like, I'm just off it.
Yep.
Just off it. Yep. This was the Walking Corpse deck.
Okay.
So I lost playing for top 8 this invitational. Almost made it. And if I was playing on Sunday, I probably would have figured something out with the Bloodline Keepers.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a tough way to do it. This, I would argue his deck is better.
Now, I did find this weird note on the internet around this whole thing with him not having the right cards in his main deck, and something that's called the blank card handicap, which is the use of blank cards in deck construction. This is not widespread because of the skills it takes to design a deck with dead cards. I'm reading this from something I found, by the way. These are not my words. But some people prefer to design decks with about 6 to 12 dead cards and test them against various top decks. When satisfactory results have been achieved, the player using the handicap knows that they can beat specific decks despite the handicap. The dead cards may then be replaced by useful cards that can deal with less popular decks. So Patrick and I did a little pre-show, a little meeting, go over the script here. And neither of us have ever heard of this before.
I've never heard of this. The closest thing that I heard of doing something like this is kind of in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Was Ben Rubin was building decks, and we would be playtesting and whatever, and it would be like, is it okay if I treat all of my lands as pain-free City of Brass?
Okay.
Just to see what is possible.
Okay, sure.
And it's like, no, that's not. That's a waste of time.
That doesn't seem helpful.
But that's the closest I've come to something like this.
At least he asked. I've never heard of anything like this before. Some things that we find when we go fact finding, they seem like total nonsense. I have another one later in the show, but before I get there, I want to go to Mark Justice, who got second place, and this was his second top 8. So kudos to Mark on that, from the United States, of course. And these are some words from Mark Rosewater's article that he wrote about this that I found on the internet, and this is where a little bit of the I'm going to say disagreements come in. Quote, "The big story of the tournament was Mark's run at being world champion." That's Mark Justice, of course, not Rosewater. "While there were others making a play to be the, quote, best Magic player in the world, end quote, Justice held on to the title a little longer by being a hair's breadth away from being the world champion, the one title he most wanted. Justice showed up for the finals in a 3-piece suit, ready to claim his rightful title, but was undone by Tom Chanpheng. Though some believe Justice lost this title himself by responding to a balance by Chanpheng that would destroy all lands in play in combination with Zuran Orb. You sacrifice your lands in response to the balance, or you can sacrifice them first and float mana. But basically, it's a makeshift Armageddon. Justice declared 2 demonic consultations, each for Dark Ritual, without seeing how the first would turn out, which means that he held priority after casting the first and cast the second, which is weird for someone who's the best player.
This is really funny to me. Just, all right, balance and response, Zuran Orb, all my lands away. Oh, you think you know the stack? You think you know about holding priority? Watch this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes. This is really strange.
This is real-time gameplay.
Yeah. The consultations ate through his deck so much that it cost him a game that many felt he should have won if he'd played it correctly. Now, again, this is from Mark Rosewater article. This will be linked in the show notes on YouTube and Patreon. Okay, cool. Here's my thing. I would dispute that Justice should have won because he lost the match 3-0.
Could have maybe gotten it to a gentleman's sweep.
So, look, this is what do they call it? An unreliable narrator?
Yeah.
Seems like maybe Mark Rosewater was a friend of Mark Justice and is painting a picture that like Mark could have won the match if he hadn't screwed up these consultations, when it more sounds like he could have won a game.
Well, it's also, I guess what Mark is trying to say here is, well, if you're 2-1, then you still have a crack at games 4 and 5.
This is true.
Maybe you can pull it off here. It's also not that interesting to me when people say something like, yeah, he would have won, but he played bad. It's like, well,
that he shouldn't have won.
Yeah. If we drew different cards or made different decisions, the outcome could have been different. I don't really disagree with that.
We agree.
Console and response console is awesome though. Yeah. Don't even need to know.
Just writs. They're free.
Yeah. I would say actually that would be an indicator of maybe a marked deck if it didn't end up just killing him.
Oh, maybe a little tomfoolery at work.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. But it looks like it was just pilot error.
Let's go to third place now. It is Henry Stern from the United States. I don't have a ton of notes here from Henry other than that he worked for Wizards of the Coast from August 1996 until December 2008, pretty long stint, as a developer, designer, and design manager. So there you go. Fourth place in this tournament was Ali Rod from Sweden. who's a Magic Hall of Famer. He is the Sylvan Safekeeper from his Invitational win, and it was his second top 8. He top 8 at Pro Tour Columbus, the Pro Tour before this, and won it. 5th place, Matt Place from the United States, who is a former World's Team Champion. He actually was part of the team that won the team championship at this event, and then also won Pro Tour Mainz, MAINZ, in 1997, and also Patrick's good buddies with us.
Yeah, worked at Wizards of the Coast as a designer and developer for a very long time. Was the lead and owner of Storybook Brawl, game design and playing savant.
Yes.
Good 3-point shooter, nice handle.
Oh. Put him on the court.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He and we've gone at it for sure.
Oh, respect. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both, I don't know if he still plays, but yeah. And maybe 10 or 11 years ago, we probably played against each other 3 or 4 nights a week.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Let's go to 6th place. Scott Johns from the United States. I felt like a comic coming on. Well, let me read through this first. This was his 3rd top 8 of his career, and technically of this season. He top 8 at Pro Tour Los Angeles 1996 and Pro Tour Columbus 1996 before this, though most don't acknowledge his 2nd top 8 at Columbus as the event cut to top 4, which means it's not a top 8, because that's not what the cutoff was. It's really weird that people try to count this to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just strange. 7th place, Eric Tam from Canada. His 2nd final day. He also made the top 8 at Pro Tour New York 1996. And then we have 8th place. I don't know if you know this person well or not. I don't have any experience with Tommy Hovey from Finland. He's a Magic Hall of Famer. He was inducted in the inaugural class in 2005. He's also the first player to win 2 Pro Tours, Pro Tour Los Angeles 1997 and Pro Tour Rome 1998.
Yeah, I remember the Rome victory pretty well.
Okay.
I don't think I have much in the way of firsthand experience with him, but it was a significant name when I was starting to get more competitive.
Clearly pretty good, given the Hall of Fame and the multiple Pro Tour wins. So I hope, we'll obviously run into him more as we go through this series. We're in 1996 right now. PTLA's in 97, Rome's 98. So we'll probably get the opportunity to play with some Tommy Hovey decks here. Notable non-top 8 finishes. Some guy named John Finkel got 9th. Some dude named Mike Long got 15th. Alexander Blumke, who won the 1995 World Championship, got 16th. Darwin Castle, who was a Magic Hall of Famer and top 8 at Pro Tour Los Angeles 1996, got 30th. Bertrand Lestry, who was the finalist at Pro Tour New York 1996, got 53rd. George Baxter, top 8 at Pro Tour New York 1996 and was the finalist at the U.S. Nationals in 1996, got 56th. It's also the dude who wrote all the books. Yeah, Magic's Poet Laureate. That's right. And then Preston Poulter got 62nd place. He also made top 8 at Pro Tour New York 1996. I say those names because they're names that we've gone over in previous episodes of this show, and perhaps names we'll go over more in future episodes of this show. But also, these finishes impacted the end of season Player of the Year race, which we have not gone over yet in this show and during this season. So at the end of the season, Ollie Rod was awarded Pro Player of the Year despite having competed in only 2 Pro Tours, winning one at Pro Tour Columbus 1996 and finishing 4th in the World Championships. He ended up with 50 pro points in first place. Sean the Hammer Regner, 2nd place with 41 pro points. Mark Justice, 3rd place with 37 pro points, and Michael Acanto, winner of Pro Tour New York, with 34 pro points.
Player of the Year only playing 2 PTs is sick.
That's insane.
The sickest,
completely insane.
The sickest version of that I experienced firsthand. Do you remember when the Pro Tour had fantasy drafts?
Like vaguely.
So the way that it worked was they would print out the list of everyone who was qualified.
Okay.
And you got to pick 8 players.
Okay.
And you could have a maximum of 100 pro points among your team.
Oh, okay.
So if you wanted to have some established pros, you would have to put in some people who were playing in their first Pro Tour and had 0 pro points. So most people's teams were like some pros and then friends of theirs that are playing. But whatever. Yeah, sure. It was just a fun little game to play.
Okay.
So you were capped at 100 pro points, and they had to adjust the cap because at one point Kai had more than 100 pro points in the season.
Cool.
Yeah, that was. I mean, winning all the Pro Tours and all that kind of stuff, obviously sick. But for me, that was the moment of, oh, this is a badass.
Yeah,
they have to adjust the fantasy because they thought 100 would be a fun way to build a team of 8 people.
Seems like a good number.
Yeah. No, it's just way past it.
That one should be more highlighted on Kai's resume.
Yeah.
The 7 Pro Tour wins. Yeah, okay, we get it.
Fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, blew up the fantasy algorithm.
Yeah, too good. Too good. I love that for him. Those are the facts of the Magic the Gathering 1996 World Championship. So we are going to take a break, but when we do come back, we're going to go over the top 8 decks, including the White Weenie deck that couldn't cast some of its spells. See you soon. All right, everybody, we are back for the top 8 decks of the 1996 Magic the Gathering World Championship. But before we get there, someone who loves a good old card is Brian Colville. You can watch him play a bunch of them on his YouTube channel, Bosch and Roll. Head over to youtube.com/BoschandRoll to watch Eternal Constructed Specialist Brian Colville play a new Eternal deck every single weekday. With over 1,000 videos in his YouTube archive, if there's a certain Eternal card or deck that you want to see in action, Brian has almost certainly played with it, and there will be video for you to watch of it. Best of all, Brian is outrageously good at Magic, as he's a SCG Tour Invitational Champion, a Grand Prix Champion, and an Eternal Weekend Vintage Champion. YouTube.com/BoschandRoll, where Magic history is played every day. Alrighty, I told you we were going to talk about this White Weenie deck that couldn't play its Sleight of Minds. So let's talk about it. Because what you're going to see in the deck list here are a whole bunch of planes, 15 to be exact, along with a Kjeldoran Outpost, 4 Mishra's Factories, and somebody who gets it, 4 Strip Mines. Thank goodness. The creatures here, a lot of them have pro black because we're in a Necro Potence metagame. So you'll find 4 Order of Leitbur, 4 Order of the White Shield, and 4 White Knights. A couple Phyrexian Warbeasts, 4 Savannah Lions, and 2 Serra Angels because people just can't get enough of the 4/4 flyer.
It's a defensible metagame call to some degree if you are worried about stasis. Because they are really bad against Serra Angel.
That's true. That's true. There's 1 Armageddon, 1 Balance, 4 Disenchant. As you'll see in our games, Disenchant, very good card back in the day. Reinforcements, a Reprisal, the aforementioned Sleight of Mind, land tax, and of course 4 Swords of Plowshares, 1 Zuran Orb, 1 Lodestone Bauble, and various cards in the sideboard, including what doesn't look like another copy of Armageddon. So this was really just, beatdowns.com.
Yeah, some good rates and good metagame cards.
Yeah.
See a pro black. I like the discipline for only the 1 copy of Kjeldoran Outpost.
Yep.
Because you're just playing in this metagame with all these Armageddons, Stone Rain, Pillage, Strip Mine. It was a card that people really played 3 or 4 copies of a lot at the time.
Okay.
And just given the metagame and what this deck is trying to do, how efficiently it's trying to spend its mana, I think 1 copy is a very smart call.
We're going to move on to the second place deck now in the hands of Mark Justice. This is, of course, Black-Red Necropotence. 3 Black Knights, 4 Hypnotic Specters, and 2 Ishan's Shade. We got a lot of spells here, and 3 Contagion, 4 Dark Ritual, 3 Drain Life, a Fireball, 4 Hymns, and 4 Necros. Artifacts, there's an Ivory Tower, there's a 3 Nevinyrral's Disc to reset things, 2 Serrated Arrows, and 1 Zuran Orb. And then plenty of lands here in 25 total, 10 Swamps, 1 City of Brass, 2 Ebon Strongholds, a Lava Tubes, 3 Mishra's Factories, somebody else who gets it, 4 Strip Mines, and then 4 Sulphurous Springs. So the red splash is pretty light, and those, well, I know you have a comment on the demonic consultations that are in the sideboard.
Yeah, I just play that main and cut the Fireball. It's just that it really can't be overstated how bad pain lands are with Necropotence.
Yeah, they're really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And also, basically, almost all the decks, I think 6 out of the 8 at least, are various forms of attacking decks. It's not like I want to be taking damage for no reason anyway.
Yep.
But the fact that it's literally costing you a card so you can splash 1 Fireball.
There's also 2 Pyroclasm, a Red Elemental Blast, and 3 Shatter.
Yeah, you're really reaching there. I feel like
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with
the pain lands are just so bad.
Well, let's move on to mono black necropotents then. From Mark Justice's friend Henry Stern, 3rd place. 4 hippies, 4 Knight of Stromgald, a senior vampire, Big Daddy Yosh, a Yosin soldier. We got 2 contagions, 4 dark writs, 3 drain lives, 4 hymns, 3 necros. 3 necros is an interesting number. 1 ivory tower, 4 discs, 2 serrated arrows, a Zuran Orb, 18 snow-covered swamps, 4 Mishra's factories, and 4 strip mines.
So someone else who got the strip mine memo.
That's right.
We're finally getting the point.
I think everybody's there.
At this point has gotten the memo.
Yeah.
Yosin Soldier, a cool little metagame call against all the pump knights.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. 1/4.
Yeah.
Yep, good
1/4 artifact creature.
Yep.
Offense, defense.
Can be disenchanted.
Sure.
We'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
But you do want to save your disenchants for probably those necropotences.
And it's got to feel like a win if they disenchant your Yosin Soldier.
Yeah, it depends what's going on. But I agree with you. Sideboard cards. I know we didn't mention it in Mark's deck list, but we're going to mention it here. Just they both had 4 copies of Dystopia.
Yes.
They're not messing around.
That card is messed up.
Yeah, to say the least. So let's move on to 4th place, Nolly Rod, who played Armageddon. A green-white deck. You may have seen it in previous videos that we've done. 4 Elvish Archers, 4 Urnum Dijins, 2 Finhorn Elves, 2 Llanowar Elves, 4 Savannah Lions, 2 Spectral Bears, 4 Whirling Dervish, only 2 Geddons, 1 Balance, 4 Disenchants, because it seems like all the white decks play 4, a Divine Offering, 4 Giant Growths, a Land Tax, and 4 Swords of Plowshares, alongside a Zuran Orb and 21 lands, 7 Forests, 2 Plains, 4 Brushlands, 4 City Brass, and you guessed it, 4 strip mines.
So this is kind of the shape of the metagame here. You have Necropotence, which is kind of known to be the most powerful card in absolute terms.
Mm-hmm.
You have White Weenie, which is basically the most efficient way of attacking Necro.
Yep.
You have a bunch of protection from black creatures. You're fast out of the gate. You have Armageddon. You're basically as well matched up as you can be for that.
Yep.
That gets you to Armageddon, which is trying to split the difference here a little bit. You still have acceleration into Armageddon and a handful of pro-black creatures, though nowhere near as many or as good as the ones that White Weenie gets to get.
Yep.
And to try to beat White Weenie, it's like, well, I'm just better in combat.
Bigger.
I'm faster, I'm bigger.
Yep.
Your protection from black doesn't matter.
Yep.
So Armageddon is trying to kind of be, 1 foot on each side of the line, basically, in a metagame of White Weenie and Necro.
Well, I got another Armageddon list here from your old buddy Matt Place. 1 Deadly Insect, 4 Urnham Jin, 2 Finhorn Elves, 1 Llanowar Elves, only 3 Mana Accelerants, and then 2 Whirling Dervish. So you'll note that this deck list is much different than what we just saw here from Ollie Rod. Spells 4 Geddons to Ollie's 2, 1 Balance, 4 Disenchant, a Land Tax, 4 Swords, and 1 Sylvan Library. There's also 3 Fellwar Stones, so a little bit more permanent mana acceleration here from Matt Place. 4 Icy Manipulators, 4 Serrated Arrows, and a Zuran Orb. And there's 23 lands, 6 forests, 6 plains, 4 brushlands, 1 City of Brass, 2 Thawing Glaciers. And what do you think the last 4 are?
Strip Mine.
That's correct. It's 4 Strip Mine. The first handful of players here all have 4. This build, obviously, much different than the other one we looked at.
This build is much more about going after Necro.
Yeah.
Where I would argue the previous build is much more of an anti-White Weenie build of Armageddon. Icy Manipulator and Fellwar Stone to me is very revealing because the Necro deck is not good at interacting with artifacts. They have, maybe they're splashing red for some shatters. Maybe there's a couple Nevermore's discs in their deck, but disc is something that you can fight over. Not all these decks play red. And if they're bringing in shatter against you, who really cares?
Sure.
So you have much more mana acceleration that is much more stable against Necropotence. If you're noticing in these Necro builds, it's just a lot of copies of Contagion. So trying to ramp via Finhorn and Llanowar Elves is problematic. And because Necro is so much about mana efficiency, anytime they're taking out your plays for no mana and spending their mana doing something else and then necroing a bunch, that's how the game gets away from you. So Matt's deck with all these artifacts, and also these Necro decks are very threat light. Mm-hmm. We're looking at lists that they have Hypnotic Specters, they have, maybe some Order of the Ebon Hands, maybe some Black Knights, maybe an Ishon Shade, whatever. Not that many creatures.
Yep.
And none of them have any immunity from Icy Manipulator.
No, that's true.
So that's a cool bit of metagaming here.
And you kind of called it here too, because taking a look at the sideboards, Ollie Rod's sideboard, as an example, only has 1 copy of Karma, where Matt has 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what I appreciate about this is it's easy to kind of make fun of the old decks, and some of the ones that we have covered are funny in retrospect compared to the things that you could have done.
Yes.
And we're talking about a tournament where someone misregistered their deck and maybe made it better anyway because the card they were trying to splash is so bad. So we still got a little bit of that going on.
Yep.
But we're starting to see real decks here.
Oh, yeah.
Like people play way more. This is my best card. I'm playing 4 copies.
Yep.
There's a lot more of that going on. There is stuff like the Felwar Stone Icy Manipulator versus Llanowar Elves and Finhorn Elves. And each of those approaches having different strengths and weaknesses, but the people that are making those calls doing it on purpose.
This is also highlighted here once again as we go to the next deck list, excuse me. So Mono Black Necropotent by Scott Johns. We got a lot of 4-ofs. 4 Hypnotic Spectre, 4 Knight of Stromgull, 2 Senior Vampires. Spells, 3 Contagion, 4 Dark Ritual, 3 Drain Life, 4 Hymns, 4 Ice Quakes, 4 Necropotents, 1 Ivory Tower, 3 Disc, 1 Orb, 24 lands, 18 Swamps, 2 Mistress Factories, and
4 Strip Mines.
That's right. Sideboard is, you've got some Dark Banishings, 4 Dystopias, but this really highlights what you're talking about, which is people are just playing like as many copies reasonably as they can of their best cards.
Yep.
Like as many copies as it makes sense to play. Like as an example, I don't think one should play 4 copies of Contagion. 3 feels about right.
Yeah, I mean, there's just matchups where it's dead.
Yeah.
And even in the matchups where it's good, the second copy is often not that good. So yeah, very common 3 of. And also part of the reason that you're seeing just way more streamlined lists, particularly with Necro, is just Demonic Consultation.
Yep.
That card is not very good for tutoring for 1-ofs. It's really powerful if you're just playing 4-ofs and you just want to find your best card. And usually Dark Ritual or Necropotence to get off the ground running.
Well, I've got a good news for those of you who like messy deck lists. So we got 2 coming up for you. The first one's by Eric Tam. It's a 4-color control deck. 2 Deadly Insect, 3 Earn Hand Gym, 1 Aeron the Relentless, 1 Storm Shaman. Oh yeah. Let's go to spells. 21 of them. A Balance of Fireball, 2 Guerrilla Tactics. Take that, Hymn to Torak. 4 Incinerate, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Pillage. 1 Primitive Justice, 3 Stone Rain, 1 Stormbind, 6 Artifacts, 1 Black Vice, 2 Elkin Bottle, 1 Felwar Stone, 2 Icy Manipulator, and actually an appropriate number of lands given this pile, 26, 12 Mountains, 4 City of Brass, 4 Complusion Forest, 2 Mistress Factories, and
4 Strip Mines.
There's 4 Strip Mines in this 4-color monstrosity. The sideboard's a bunch of 2-ofs and 1-ofs that you can see on the screen, including Earthquake, Gloom, Mountain Yeti.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, forgot that was in here. Storm Seeker, Terror, and Zuran Orb. You want to try to make sense of this thing?
I think this deck is completely unplayable.
Okay.
This looks like if you gave an AI program a prompt, make me a Magic deck list from 1996, this is what would come back at you.
The thing I thought was there a Pro Tour where you lost your deck and you had to scrounge beforehand?
Yeah.
This is what you would have registered.
Yeah, Pro Tour Houston, the one that Justin Gary won, and it was the 1-2-3 with YMG with Rob Daugherty and Darwin Castle all playing different decks.
Yeah.
I had my deck stolen a few days before the event at the local shop, and I was in no financial position to replace the cards. So Gerard Fabiano on the scene, and he's just got his box of green and black cards.
Still does.
Out of which I built a constructed deck for the Pro Tour. It was not good, but the team deck was also not good. So who can really tell? I did beat, I think, at least one person with it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it was also kind of a rough Pro Tour insofar as there's just a lot of people dying on turn 2.
Sure.
My deck was not set up for that. So
yeah, your deck and this 4-color
check
deck.
out my Spike Feeder.
Hey,
Attacking, blocking, moving things around, gain some life.
powerful card.
Yeah.
Depending on what the meta.
Not good
is.
against Hermit Druid, but
Well,
good against other stuff.
win some, lose most. Wise man once told me that. Tommy Hovey, I don't know if he subscribes to that theory, with this, I'm not going to use the term Esper, blue, white, black stasis deck. Let's take a look ski.
Dromar control.
Yeah. Creatures, none. Spells, 26 of them. I got 4 Arcane Denials, a Balance, 4 Boomerang, 4 Force of Will, 2 Kismet, a Land Tax, 4 Limdul's Vault, 2 Recall, and 4 of its namesake in Stasis. Artifacts, I got 10 of those, 3 Despotic?
Yeah, Despotic. Yeah.
Okay, I mean like a little bit
Despot. From the word. Yeah.
Okay. 4 Howling Mind, 1 Ivory Tower, 1 Soldevi Digger, and a Zuran Orb. We got 24 lands, 12 of which are islands, 3 Attakar Waste, 2 City of Brass, 2 Land Cap, 2 River Delta, 3 Underground River, no copies of Strip Bind. And, well, I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler alert. Got to watch Patrick play with this in our Patreon exclusive episode of the Resleevables 1996 World Championship Edition.
Go to 1. Kismet.
Alright, so that's it. All my stuff there is tapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Oh boy. Alright.
Just play Islands and Strip Mine.
How'd you enjoy playing with this thing?
I mean, I guess you're kind of priced into doing the Kismet thing.
The Kismet thing was really good against me.
Yeah, so the splashing black for Limdul's Vault is where you really lose me here.
Okay.
Because when you're playing with Stasis, it's really important to just have a lot of blue mana.
Yes.
Because you keep the Stasis going, and then maybe you Spot Acceptor it and untap and reset. You can Boomerang it, untap and reset. So the lands that don't make blue mana or don't untap a good amount of the time, it's really rough. It's really rough. And I just wonder if you had found a way to just go, 4 Attakars, some Fellow Warstones, maybe in a few planes, and see if that was enough to cast or Kismet, and then everything else is blue mana.
Well, it's not the prettiest deck list I've ever seen.
Also, you got to try to deck people, and I think like the only way you have to get ahead on the decking race is Soldevi Digger, which is a really hard way to do it with Stasis, because you need your mana to keep the Stasis going. It's not like you can just pay 2 mana willy-nilly all over the place.
Imagine playing this deck in a Pro Tour.
I mean, well, not to spoil too much, I played 5 games and I was ready to quit Magic. Just quit the show. I was sunk after playing a few hours with this deck.
It was fun for me.
Sure.
It was fun for me.
Because you're just sitting there, it's like, well, you either got me locked or not. Not a whole lot I can do.
Pretty much.
So I just got to see if you can keep this going. And every turn I'm trying to figure out some way to get one more blue mana or just anything at all. Didn't go that way. I feel like this deck could be improved.
Maybe slightly. And in case you're wondering, those Wall of Airs that you may have seen in the sideboard on the decklist graphic, those are real. Those are there.
Wall of Air is great.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a really wise metagame call. Again, Pump Knights all over the place, and they're probably boarding out creature removal against you. So cool. They're not going to plow your wall after board.
Yeah.
That stuff makes sense. There's some other stuff going on here that's not great.
So those are the top 8 decks. And now Patrick and I, we're going to head into our other studio and do some battling here between the finalists. So naturally, I'll be playing White Weenie by Tom. Patrick will be playing Black Red Necropotence by Mark. And you can watch it right now. All right, everybody. We are in Resleevables Studio, what's called Studio B. Does that sound? Sure. That work for you? Yeah. Yours is Studio A. Okay. Mine's Studio B. Cedric Phillips. I turned the camera on, so Patrick Sullivan over there. There he is, representing the fathers.
Yeah, go Padres.
The Friars, the dads.
Game 2 against Miami tonight. Big one.
Yeah, something like that.
3-game homestand.
You are a maniac. We're going to play more than 2 games here. We're going to play 5 as we always do. 1996 World Championship, everybody. Unsurprisingly, White Weenie over here. It's not Kithkin, but it'll work just fine. A lot of pro-black knights.
This is a fun matchup because
There's analogs to this all over Magic's history, which is one deck is definitely way more powerful in absolute terms if you just look at the cards that are in the two decks. The Necro deck is by far the better deck.
Oh yeah.
But the way Weenie deck is attacking all of its vulnerabilities, Armageddon, protection from color, that's about as good as even Phyrexian Warbeast is lines up well.
Disenchants everywhere.
Disenchants all over the place.
Yeah,
right. So we have the more powerful deck squaring off against the more hateful deck.
Absolutely. Now, Patrick is playing black-red Necropotence, basically mono-black, splashing for like a fireball.
Yeah.
That's really about it. So you're basically mono-black. Now, one of the videos that we did where you were playing Necropotence previously, deck wasn't all the way there, basically, I think is the way you described it. Like, had Necro, but, you know, not like Necro as people think of Necro. This is closer.
A big step forward for this deck is Contagion.
Yeah.
Just Necropotence alongside 0 mana cards is about as sick as it gets.
Yeah, it's kind of where you want to be.
Yeah. No League of the Dead, surprisingly. One could argue that the deck is a little bit too constrained on just the swamp count between Strip Mine, Mishra's Factory, and Heaven's Stronghold.
Yep.
I would have probably liked to find a way to get one in here.
Okay.
And later builds of Necro really took advantage of League of the Dead. But the Alliance's cards are really starting to add to it quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. So, White Weenie, Black-Red Necropotence. Game number 1 about to be underway. As mentioned, we're going to play 5 games here. And then one of us is going to be the 1996 World Champion. You know,
and I've been getting beat up lately. So.
There you go. I got those for you. This is a big part of it. 7s, you know, craps out. How's it taste?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, that's right. Good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
Mono white. I'm at home here. Meow. Your turn.
Go.
Sure. Alrighty. Plains Deuce.
18.
Love it. Love it. The first of many. It is Order of Leitbur. Your turn.
Who can play that game?
Yes, the Black Knight.
Go ahead.
I got no real answers to this nonsense. Deuce.
It was.
Yeah, 16. And this will be an Order of the White Shield. You. As I think folks are going to find out as they watch this match, there's a reason that we don't do protection from colors much anymore.
Yeah, this is pretty boring.
Yeah. It's not interactive.
Yeah. And it's one thing to have, like, 1 6-mana creature with protection from 1 color in a format.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
You know, at a certain point, protection from color isn't that different from hexproof or a variety, ward, whatever. But protection from color on cheap aggressive creatures is just too horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Now he's just in the bind already. Or at least hopefully.
Go ahead.
Yipper. Not quite.
Come on.
4. You're at 12. Look at you keeping. People can't see. You're keeping your.
Yeah, I don't want to keep asking. I'm over that.
Like it's a draft. Tax.
Sure.
Nudge. Nah.
Okay.
You're 14. Alright.
Arrows.
Alright, let it begin.
Go ahead.
Alright, tax it up. 1, 2, trace. That's for you. Draw for my turn.
Yep. It was.
That's perfect. You choose.
This is the rare, right?
Sure.
Keep your fallen empires coming.
You showed me. Bang. You took 2, so you're 12 again.
Good.
Do this, play my land for the turn. I don't care to play that much.
And you have 7 in here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually.
Play a nub disc. Go ahead.
Okay. Alright. This costs 1 to activate?
What does it? What costs 1?
Does this cost 1 to activate?
1 in tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that card in a long time. Tax.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. There. Alright, draw for turn. Ooh, what a hottie. This. We're obviously attacking, but let's see, so you're 12. It's actually kind of interesting.
Okay. 4.
So you're 8.
Yes. Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go! Gotta force his hand eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I think we've done a good job of making Necro pretty bad. Oh yeah, give me a taste. 18. Okay. Restart. Go. Sure. Go. 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 That's not a lot anymore. Go. You. Go. Oh boy, your turn. The beast. This is just what I love that this is what it used to be.
That's right.
Yo. Pro protection creatures, Armageddon. Bonk. Oh, no good, no bueno. Okay.
Hard cast contagion.
All right, so 2.
So it's a -102 now.
Got it.
You got it?
I'm gonna put this here.
Don't, because if this thing dies, we
No, I know.
We got a town over there.
I know.
All I need is a second contagion.
Yeah, that's all. You're right. Go.
Kaboom.
Yeah, indeed. Your turn. The no Adakar Wastes has come up.
Yeah.
But I still think I'm going to be okay. For those of you who missed it in the deck breakdown, old Tom forgot to register Adakar Wastes, so this is awkward.
Go ahead.
Gotta make sure we know that's there. Okay, that's control. Alright, trip. You at 5. Giddy up. Nope. I can only imagine.
So, what are my outs? So 5, and then 4 seems really unlikely to work.
Yeah. Good lord. Okay. This is gonna be good.
I'll pay 3.
You're a deuce.
Nope. Definitely not.
All right. All
I
right.
yield.
All right.
Yield.
1 to the good guys. Mono whites, or as they used to see, in the present day, call it mono white aggro.
Yeah.
Back in the day, white weenie.
White weenie.
Yeah. How do we feel about white weenie as a deck name?
Fine.
Heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
Don't weenie, not a great word to use, but like it's not horrible.
Yeah.
It's not horrible.
Really cannot be overstated how bad it is to play so many pain lands in your deck with Necropotence.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like, there's a shot that I can worm my way out of that game if I just have swamps in play instead of
Sulphur Springs,
City of Brass.
Yeah, for your Fireball.
Yeah,
that's right. Game 1 down. Game number 2 coming to you right after this. All right, everybody. Game number 2. You start.
Yep.
All right. Give you a taste. Nope. You will cooperate.
19.
Wizard. Do your worst.
Go. Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. I mean, not even 9.
I know.
It's so great. It's so great.
You'll clean it up when we get to the board, at least.
Absolutely. Alright, beast, draw for turn. I might actually have to read that one. Your turn.
Guards.
1, 2, 3, 6. Hammer. Triplicate. I'm zoned in now. The practice games.
Yeah.
Practice games woke me up that the folks didn't see. Alright. That's there. Draw for turns. I just don't think I care about that. So, 2. We get setting. This. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think I can.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. There's nothing better to do it.
Right.
To target my own thing.
Yeah.
So
19.
19. Yeah.
Tubular.
Yes, indeed. The taxman cometh.
I like that. One of the fun decisions I get to make in these games is like, what's the worst land in my hand in case I could get it?
Sure.
I picked this one.
I picked the 2.
Yes.
Draw for turn.
Yep.
Alright, same thing. So 21. We do 4 setting.
Sure.
Yep. So that's outpost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope.
Him. Just a spell? No.
No, planes. Get you some planes, babe.
I ain't picking any spell will do.
Alright.
Go.
Make perfect go off 1. Alright, Tower do nothing. So I assume this is dead. Now this is the very official token.
Yeah, it's a white.
Yeah, it's extremely official. Draw for turn. Yep. 6. Yep. See at 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go. Got him. Pro Black, powerful, great deck building.
Where? Oh, Danny needs his necklace.
Yeah, you haven't drawn your good cards yet, really. You haven't had one of your top end starts. Let's just say that, which is good for me because I want to win the 1996 World Championships. Sideboarding coming up right after this. All right, everybody, sideboard time. You're in the hole. Very Pacers Timberwolves-esque, but you got some fight in you.
And I think I'm getting the better end of the sideboard here as well.
Yeah.
So I am adding 4 copies of Dystopia. This is just one of the best all-time sideboard cards against a deck full of, protection from black creatures that are white.
I'm gonna let you tell people what it does.
So it's a 3-mana enchantment, cumulative upkeep of 1 life. During each player's upkeep, if that player controls any green or white permanents, he or she sacrifices a green or white permanent. So keep in mind this is triggering at the start of your turn.
Okay.
Which means, let's say you've tapped out.
Yeah.
And you can't disenchant it.
Yeah.
I get 1 on the house.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't have to come back to my turn.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So this card's obviously sick. 2 copies of Pyroclasm, I think is very strong. Again, answering the protection from black creatures. And I'm bringing in the 2 copies of Demonic Consultation because now the way that my deck is set up, I have a bunch of really good 4-ofs to consult for in Dystopia, Dark Ritual, and Necropotence.
Yep.
I really just want to become a Necro control deck, I think, against you post-board. Lean on my protection from white creatures and just have more removal for your stuff. Out goes 4 copies of Hypnotic Spectre. In the first 2 games, just super modest.
Don't do anything.
And you have, it can't block or interact profitably with the protection from black creatures. If you have land tax, you have a huge cushion. And your deck is also low enough to the ground that you can get hellbent pretty quickly.
Yep.
Hinatorak coming out for the same reason.
Over here, I am bringing in some copies of Divine Offering. This is 2 mana, destroy target artifact. You gain life points. Nice. Equal to the casting cost of artifact. Serrated Arrows, Ivory Tower, Zuran Orb, Mishra's Factory.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Good enough. I mean, killing arrows is pretty important, but it's getting pretty bad for me after sideboard because in the pre-board games, you were kind of relying on arrows to get yourself out of trouble. You've got a lot of stuff.
A better spread now.
Yeah. So that's number 1. This also allows me to kill arrows and say disenchant for this thing or something.
Yeah.
Energy Storm, a little bit of a weirdo here. 2 mana, cumulative upkeep of 1. It's an enchantment. Damage dealt by instants, interrupts, and sorceries are reduced to 0. Creatures with flying do not untap during their controller's untap phase. So the second part doesn't matter. The first part's good against this and Drain Life.
Fireball as well.
And Fireball too. So look, I don't think it's going to come up much. We're only going to play 3 games, but
and you think the second part doesn't matter, but we're these to be left in.
Okay, good point.
We could be singing a different tune.
And then an additional outpost because as you're going to find here, my main deck cards are just not very good. So the Zuran Orb, people just put one in their deck because it was just powerful back in the day. Just I understand it combos with balance, but
I think that it's probably good enough to play a copy of, just relative to how weak the cards are generally.
Sure.
The fact that it plays really well with land tax and balance, I think, are arguments for. It's probably not even that bad in the mirror match, just because it's 0 mana game 10 or whatever.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
So yeah, people did just play 1 copy a lot of the time, but I think it's actually correct to be playing 1 copy in decks of this era, even if it doesn't seem like a Zuran Orb style deck.
Certainly not good in this matchup. If things are going the way you want them to, this is a 0.
Right.
Lodestone Bauble, no. Just I played with this card more in my life in the past month than I've ever expected to. Reprisal, no targets. Sleight of Mind, can't cast it. Good. And then Swords of Plowshares. Look, I can assume you're probably going to board out some creatures anyway and just become a control deck. So I have 2 swords in to maybe target my own stuff if the game's going a certain way, but look, these kill hippies and factories, and that's really about it.
And keep in mind that we're sideboarding phase up here.
Yeah.
The threat of Hypnotic, I think, is still reasonable enough that it's worth having one or two plows in your deck, even if it's not likely to come up.
Yeah, so pretty straightforward. As Patrick mentioned, his deck gets significantly better after Sideboard, where I think I'm clearly advantaged in game 1, given the construct of my deck, but you are coming prepared. You're just in a pretty big hole.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, it's tough to win 3 in a row, 2 of them on the draw, but I'll give them my best shot.
All right, on to game 3 right after this. Game 3. Let's do it to it. You're on the play.
Good.
Okay. I was like, what 1-drop do you have? Thoughtseize.
Dark Ritual into the Nutter Butters.
Aya! Gain your life.
Yes.
What you want?
21.
21 it is.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. 4 cards on, I assume?
Yep.
Alright. Let's go. Oh, buddy. 18.
Dystopia.
All right, so this is me. I have to sack
White or green permanent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Meowth.
Yeah.
That's right.
No blocks. 19.
Yep.
This card is messed up.
Kind of contorts the way I have to play. Your turn.
I'll pay the cumulative upkeep.
Yeah, suck it.
You're at 18, pal.
Yeah. 16.
Ritual. Ishon Shade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah.
How's that?
That's not
How do
bad.
you feel about that?
How do I feel about that?
Yeah. I'll draw.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, you want to play that game?
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about
No,
these.
yeah,
16 all. Tie game.
There's a storm brewing, Mr. Wayne. Nothing there. Okay. I got one of these.
Go. I'll play another turn, I guess. 9. Yeah, that's one of them. Yep. Go. All right, we're all good.
Okay.
We're all set.
On the board.
All right. Game 3, a rather one-sided affair. Dystopia is going to be a lot of fun to play.
That is a card.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a card.
You know what's also good with? Dark Ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out. So, yeah, game number 4, hopefully a little, I don't know if it want to be longer or shorter, just depends on what's going on. Right after this, game 4. If I win the match. I'm the champion of the world. And what better way to get it started?
Meow.
That's right.
Meow.
The traditional kings of the jungle command a healthy respect in other climates as well. Relying mainly on their stealth and speed, Savannah Lions can take a victim by surprise, even in the endless flat plains of their homeland.
Awesome.
That's
How
all.
do you turn a 2/1 no powers into like a story in some?
Alpha's just the best.
It's pretty great, yeah.
Yeah.
Deuce.
Nudge.
Wrong land. Wrong land. Go home team. Not great.
Good.
Alright. Oh, come on. Draw stuff, not great. Okay, so let's see. This could go bad. Actually, never mind. I take it all back. I'm just gonna play this idiot and say no.
Okay.
Beast from the east.
Bam, bam.
Oh no, you really want something. I will say my last 2 draw steps I think may have been worst possible. But not a big deal things in the tank.
Yeah, it's a tough turn.
Well, I'm just gonna go and set these cards down because my turns are never too tough.
It's so annoying when the game is hard. Who signed up for that?
I know.
Take a point.
Okay, we're gonna get a little interesting. 17.
I'm gonna necro for 3.
14.
And I'm gonna have to discard.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. Draw step. Okay. Beast.
Couple blocks.
Thank God. Alright, you're at 11. You.
Alright, skip my draw step.
Yep. Arrowed. Take none. Okay.
Necro for 2.
9.
Go.
Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Good God Almighty.
That's right.
Okay.
Serra Angel.
Yep.
So let's see. I do some attacking here. So let's say I did this. Here we go, arrows this, count this, take 3. Go to 6. Okay. If I did just this, you might go block, arrow thing. I mean, I'm attacking with this regardless, but arrow thing. Take nothing. Maybe Contagion works itself into the equation. Contagion is, yeah, it's an instant. Of course, it's an instant. So it feels like if I, it feels like if I don't do that, if I don't do this. I mean, your arrows are still just good regardless, so I'm not actually getting any extra damage through. And you would just go instant arrows this on your turn, arrows this. So I don't think you arrows this. And your turn could also just be chomp, arrow, dystopia, kill that, which would be tough. So I think it's just these and not the Savannah Lion. So you arrow this, take 3. Okay, you take it.
Good.
Alright, 6. So you're at 6. Okay. Go ahead.
Alright, skip my draw.
Yep. See, because we really want to get that damage through to make his necro worse.
4 plus 8.
Because I feel like the longer the game goes, the worse it is for me. A lot of options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark Ritual.
It's probably a good start.
So 2, 3, 4, 5. Drain your Serra for 5.
Okay. So you're gonna go to 11. Serra down.
Necro for 3.
You're down to 8.
Go.
Okay. Great. it. Still think this is the best thing that I can do. Still have to do this first though. Okay. So.
Oh no, no,
Lips of an Angel.
Click the Lord.
I have to play that pre-combat.
Yeah.
I'm playing it pre-combat just in case the Warbeast dies in combat. Then I don't have the mana to actually cast the Angel. So, kind of sucks to play your creature main phase 1 and give them the info. But yeah.
Take 2.
6 again.
Yep.
Skip that draw. At some point, these old boys are going to work themselves in. Just don't know when.
I guess that's the best I can do here. I'm going to put me on 5.
Okay. Mines. Coral. Okay.
Take a point.
Fireball.
Fireball for 4.
Alright, you're down to 5.
Yep. Sack this.
Yep.
Black Knight.
Okay.
Oh, Necro for 3.
You are at
2. Yep.
Alright, my turn.
Yep, your turn.
Alright, let's draw. Let's see how we do. Interessant.
Man, Warbeast has been so dope. How much gameplay is here? This is just multitudes.
Just flooded in gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay flooded.
Well, I think I said try to kill you. Hope you don't have contagion. Contagion, you have to take a life, right? You pay.
Yeah, it's force of will.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the only option I have right now, which is I fire these up. You arrow this, block these, take 2. Yeah, that's all I can do. So that's what I'm gonna do. And if you have contagion, we are I think pretty dead.
Yeah, so
jeez. No.
Do
You're at 1.
Lion Warbeast.
Okay, so now this has
A -1/-1, and I'm gonna just arrows it off and block
Yeah.
the 2 factories.
okay, so this is dead, these are dead,
That's
and then
dead.
arrows this off and I lose a land.
Yep.
And it has 4 but this
Oh
doesn't
no,
die.
it doesn't die.
This doesn't die.
Then I might want to do something different.
Yeah. It'll have 0 power, but it doesn't die.
I'm still fine with it. Yeah, we'll do it like that. I'll
Okay.
take care of the 2 factories and kill the lions and take 0.
Okay, so these 2 will be.
This is an 0-1 now.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
That's actually a -1/1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so dead. Those obviously are alive. So these are dead. This is dead from contagion.
Yeah.
And then this is effectively nothing. Great. Good turn. Good turn. Go.
Skip my draw.
Yeah. Chilling at 1.
Drain for 1.
You're at 2. Okay. So and I take a damage. So I'm gonna go to 19.
Strip your 2 planes.
I am now landless.
Factory dash
15.
go.
Nudge.
Skip my draw.
Yep, 15 to 2.
Factory disc. Go ahead.
Okay. No, fucking, come on. Jesus.
What you got from the big dog? Oh yeah, that's not good.
That's not good right now.
That's not gonna do it.
Go.
Skip my draw.
Yep. 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 Take 6, I get 5. I need the planes real bad. You win that game.
All right.
Well done. Well done.
That was a tough one.
Okay.
All right. Game 5, baby.
Game 5. He's alive. You know what? You want to heck of a game? I'm gonna let you toss to break. Go ahead. Give it a try.
Game 5. Next. Game 5 for the match. Starting now.
Meow.
That's right.
Go. No rip, please. No dark. Yes. Love that for me.
Take it.
Wow. All right. We got an 18, kids. Taste.
Go.
No contagion. Go. No contagion. No contagion. Come on. This is
Take a point.
bad for the video.
What do you mean?
You're 17.
Why is it bad for the video?
Because people want to see me win? I don't know if that's true.
Go.
Please. Go. Not good.
Blood thickens.
Heavily dislike. Okay.
Go.
Go. Come on, brick off. I gotta start getting lucky now.
Go.
Okay. Go. Oh, wow.
I'll name Necropotence.
Okay.
So top 6 got exiled.
So I've never resolved this card before. This is your wheelhouse.
I name a card.
Yeah.
I exile the top 6. Those are just gone.
Okay.
And then exile until I hit the named card.
Do you take damage or no?
No.
No. Okay.
So the what can happen here is like, well, if all 4 Necros are in the top 6, I just
You're
lose.
dead, yeah.
Or if it's like 3 and then the last Necro's down here.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. You're in the clear.
All right.
Get yourself a necro.
And now all the cards also are exiled.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, people didn't play this card. It's 1 mana Demonic Tutor, instant speed. Just people weren't into it.
This is the card that you reference the most. That you're just like people
just didn't really know what was going on. Ritual, Necro, Activate Factory, 18, pay 4.
You're 13.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's literally the only way I could keep playing. So.
Okay.
Hang on. No, I just do this now. Yep. Go. Really needed that.
Really can't hurt to just Necro for 1.
All right. So, when do you get that card?
At the end of the next turn.
Okay.
Yeah, end of discard phase. Draw.
Yep.
Remind your planes. Draw, and I'm gonna have to discard.
All right. You. 16, 12.
Necro, Stronghold, Necro for 2.
You're 10.
Go ahead.
It keeps me hanging on. Like I was I'm like about to concede on. If I draw planes, I'll keep playing.
Yep. Pay 1.
9.
Okay.
You.
Draw.
14.
Strip mine your planes. Black Knight, go.
You.
Yeah. Zuran Orb. Okay.
Yeah. This one.
Combat.
Yep.
12. Go.
This one's almost out of here. Go. Oh, checking the resources.
I have a console, so.
Okay. Good place for console board.
Yeah.
It's a good place for it.
Well, when you're boarding in 4 copies of Dystopia, now you have like a deck.
Yeah, sure.
Which is busted for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No blocks.
I'll try to give this +1 as well.
7.
Go.
Other time where if it's literally a spell I can see, I keep playing. Go. Yep. Go. Deck is tasing me.
Combat.
Yep. 5.
I'll drain you for 6.
A winner is you, my friend. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Those were good games.
Yeah.
Those were an absolute blast.
The sideboard cards are pretty messed up.
Yeah, your deck gets so much better after board than mine. So much better. Not really sure. I mean, keeping that hand 100% of the time. Hoping I draw a second white source. Hoping you don't have contagion. Run you out of the gym.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not just contagion, right? It's like, there's Pyroclasm and there's Black Knight. Like, if you have a hand that actually has a ceiling, if my draw's a little slow, then yeah, you just have to go with that.
Yeah, just on the play, lion, strip lion.
Yeah.
If I draw another plains, I can play a pro black creature and just try to run you down before you get set up.
It's not likely to win, but it's at least like plausible.
Yeah.
And a lot of your hands, even just the pro black creatures get so much worse post board because of Dystopia and Pyroclasm that it's like actually Savannah Lion might be your best creature post board.
Yeah.
At least when you're going first.
Well,
there you go.
What's a team that was up?
My recollection coming into this is that I am up 3-2 against you in sets going into this one and up 8-7 in games.
I believe that's
slightly ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an NBA team that was up 2-0 and then lost the next 3 to lose the series. When they did best of 5 back in the day.
Does that happen to the Sonics against the Nuggets?
That's a good question. The Dikembe series?
Was it? I thought one of the Heat Knicks series maybe went that way in the mid to late 90s, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they don't do that anymore, so they don't really talk about it.
Right.
You know, this gives me a good chance to make fun of the Golden State Warriors blowing a 3-1-esque lead. You know, never gonna not forget that.
No.
So feels very Warriors-esque as Curry throws the behind the back pass into the garbage can.
Yeah. Contagion, you're just
it's pretty much that. Patrick wins. We're headed back to Studio A right after this.
All right, everybody, we are back to put a wrap on the 1996 Magic the Gathering World Championship. But before we do, we got to hear from my apparel company. I'm going to be reading to you about Coalesce Apparel. and design.
You can head over to coalesceapparel.shop, the #1 store for Magic the Gathering inspired apparel, to check out their selection of shirts, hoodies, stickers, playmats, and a whole bunch more, including their brand new Devoid collection to celebrate Modern Horizons 3, and Resleevables merchandise meant for the loyalist of Jackal Pups. When checking out, be sure to use gift code Resleevables to get 10% off your entire order. Coalesce Apparel and Design, nobody made what they wanted, so they made it themselves.
Alrighty, partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thought we had you. Up 2-0. Just kind of feeling myself. Dystopia is a lot.
Yeah, so we got to answer the question: what if Perish and Virtue's Ruin were permanent?
Sure.
What does that look like?
Sure. Yeah.
That card's just so messed up.
The hate cards, we've said this before, obviously.
Yeah.
The hate cards nowadays, look, they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty good. But the hate cards that we make fun of on the Resleevables proper, and then sometimes in these episodes, yeah, it's not okay.
That
you don't get to play.
This one's so messed up.
Yeah. You don't get to play.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It's just you don't get to play.
Yeah. Well, you can wait and hope the cumulative upkeep addresses it. It doesn't play out that way.
No.
You know why? Because the person who plays Dystopia still has other cards in their hand.
That's part of it.
Like if you wanted to only be literally the card Dystopia, like it was a Chandelar boss or something, that would be one thing.
Sure.
But there's other cards. There might be another Dystopia in their hand for heaven's sake. So
the other thing too, as you folks may have seen when we sideboarded, is that your deck got significantly better after sideboard than mine did.
Yes.
The White Weenie deck is a very good deck, game #1 against what you were doing. Pre-sideboarded against what you were doing. But, you being down 2-0, you've got a real meaningful way to come all the way back like you did.
Dystopia and Pyroclasm are just two of the best possible cards.
Yeah.
And it's not like the matchup is that bad on the fundamentals game 1. It's just protection from black all over the place is a lot to handle.
Yeah.
And you can't really fix that game 1. But then post board, you get cards like that are first of all, both cracked and also take away the one clear strength you have in the matchup coming in.
Yes. So Patrick takes this one down. You can bring up the scoreboard now, and you'll see that the 1994 World Championship, you beat me 4-1. The 95 World Championship, you beat me 3-2. Pro Tour New York, I won 3-2. Pro Tour Los Angeles, you won 3-2. Pro Tour Columbus, I beat the crap out of you. I won 4-1. And then I was feeling really good about this one, but you win the 1996 World Championship.
Like I said, I'm racking them up while I can because we are at some point going to get to Lorwyn block and the surrounding blocks where I was kind of on my way out, halfway paying attention, and you were top 8 Pro Tours. So I got to get it in while I can.
That's all right. Saga block, you're going to mess me up probably.
Saga block is the games aren't games. I want to just in terms of, we're making decisions and, you've got 2 mana up and you could have a mana leak or a removal spell. How do I want to go about trying to kind of bob and weave through that?
Yeah.
This is much more just turn the engine on. We both put our foot on the floor and we just see who runs faster.
Kind of like it.
I'll tell you who I like in the Saga block matches. Whoever wins the die roll.
Oh, sure. Sure.
But we'll get to that in a little bit.
We will. Okay, so how about mass block? Is that you?
I'm a sicko.
See, there it is. There's a little confidence.
Mass block is, I think, going to be the block where playing the games will be the most psychologically damaging for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Love that for me.
Do you want to, I don't want to ruin it.
No,
Never
spoil
mind.
it.
I don't spoil it.
You got to make that.
But mass block is a hoot.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. That's our scoreboard. That's our updates, and that's our episode. So we got to do some call outs and some shilling before we go. So, you can subscribe and hang out with us on YouTube at youtube.com/Resleevables if you're not already there watching this video, because you could be watching it on Patreon, which we'll get to in just a moment. If you are watching on YouTube, you can find our most recent episode of the normal Resleevables covering Portal's Second Age. You can find snippets of our Unsleeved podcast. You can also find our episodes of Crack-a-Packs, like what we did for Portal's Second Age, and you can become eligible to win one of those packs via Patreon, which he's going to tell you about right now.
So you're going to want to go over to patreon.com/theresleevables and sign up. You can find a variety of tiers and access to the Unsleeved podcast, early access to our videos, signed cards, playmats, variety of stuff. If you sign up at the $10 or $25 tiers, one of the benefits is you are automatically drawn into our raffles during our Crack-a-Pack videos. We open up one on stream, and then one pack is given out to one of our random subscribers. You don't need to contact us or anything like that. You're automatically put into all those raffles, assuming you're at the right tier. And, we've given out some sweet stuff. We got some real expensive packs coming down the pipeline here relatively soon. So if you're interested, head on over to patreon.com/Resleevables and find a tier that works for you.
You can also follow us on Twitter, of course, at the Resleevables. And we got to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Eternal Lives here, there, everywhere. Promo code Resleevables for 5% off. We've got a Coalesce Apparel and Design. Nobody made what we wanted, so we made it ourselves. Promo code Resleevables for 10% off. And then, of course, Brian Colville's YouTube channel, Bosh and Roll, where he plays Eternal every weekday. And, the dude just won a Black Lotus recently, so you should probably watch his stuff, because he's pretty good at playing the games.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next, everybody? Well, on the Resleevables proper, Unglued, which is Magic's he set. The first of a handful of those. It was the OG, and we're looking forward to covering that one before we get into Saga Block. On the Resleevables Tournament Edition, it's looking like Pro Tour Atlanta in 1996, though I will readily admit, finding the deck lists it's been a little tough. It's limited, and we've been scouring.
Yeah.
I think we found the winning deck list. The ones underneath that, it's been a little difficult. So if we can't find them, but I had to call a little bit of an audible, move on to the next Pro Tour. But trust me when I say we're trying.
Yeah. Some of this stuff is not, it's a limited Pro Tour. You can't even, it's hard to find the lists from the 2000 era Pro Tour.
Yes.
This is got to be hard.
It's not well kept. It's not well managed, which makes me sad because we're doing a Magic history show and we generally enjoy Magic history, and we've come to find that other people enjoy it too. And this is not easy to find, but again, we're trying. So before we do leave today, I had teased the fact that Patrick played with Stasis. Some of you may know that if you're with us on Patreon, we do Patreon exclusives for the Resleevables Tournament Edition. We will play a second match that you vote on in Patreon if you're a $5, $10, $25 member. One of those jackal pups. So we are going to, as we roll credits, he's shaking his head, as we roll credits.
From my soul to your monitor.
That's correct.
Go check it out.
As we roll the credits, you will see a little sampling, perhaps a little taste of the match where I played Armageddon, he played Stasis, and, he broke down as only he can. So do enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Resleevables Tournament Edition, and we'll see you on one of the things that we make soon enough. Untap. The whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole shebang. So this is where they then the figure four and they turn the pressure.
Yeah.
That's what happened here.
No, you got to the rope.
I got to the rope?
Yeah, this is getting to the rope.
Okay, all right. I like stuff. I don't mind getting the rope.
They're untapping soon.
Good for you. Yep. Yep. Okay. Cool. The ropes are nowhere near. Oh yeah. I'm in the center of the ring. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm blocked. I feel like bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am gonna look at. Yeah, you got it. You got it.